So this I thought was very cool, and I wanted to kind of do a video, sort of, and this is a bit of a follow-up to a video that I had done previously. But more good news for Xbox. I mean, it's getting kind of crazy out there. Again, if you can set aside, some of the other things. I know it's difficult because I have a problem with that sometimes myself, right? Where you kind of set aside, the fact that Microsoft is out there doing like some stupid stuff, like possibly putting all their exclusives on PlayStation, which is really, really foolish. But if you can set aside that, and we can just look at things from this kind of point of view, right? Like, oh, you're an Xbox owner. Say you own an Xbox Series X or an S right now. Forget everything else, because you're going to be very satisfied with the things that you get, and that's what is most important. I think it's like, people kind of forget about the software situation. So it is nice to see when stuff like this happens, and it's very exciting as well. So I wanted to get into it because it does kind of ring true that a video I did previously was accurate. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm Crap Gamer. This is Crap Gamer Reviews with another video. Thank you so much for checking it out. Please like, share, subscribe. I would appreciate that. Simple like really does go a long way for the channel. It helps it out tremendously. So yeah, please do so. With that being said, I do daily gaming content. I try to be as fun and entertaining as possible, but also I try to be informative. So keep that in mind as we go forward. Now, we know for a fact that Microsoft has one hell of a lineup in terms of software this year. I've gone over it numerous times. Avowed, South of Midnight, Fable, Outer Worlds 2, Doom, The Dark Ages, Towerborn. And those are just the confirmed things. Obviously, there's unconfirmed things like this. Let's take it with a grain of salt for right now, but this is confirmation that it is something is being worked on. Virtuous is working on an unannounced remake using Unreal Engine 5. Developer's LinkedIn profile has revealed that Virtuous is working on an unannounced remake for current-gen consoles using Unreal Engine 5, which is pretty cool. First spotted on X, the information comes from interesting people talking about their LinkedIn page, who is the technical art director at Virtuous. His description of the current work simply reads, unannounced Unreal Engine 5, PS5, Xbox Series X, PC remake. So it's interesting that they list it as a remake, because some people were speculating the possibility of a remaster was a thing. In December of last year, rumors began to circulate that Virtuous was working on the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion remake on Unreal Engine 5, which was further corroborated by other leakers who were talking about that, saying the game could be announced at the heavily rumored Xbox Direct, which is believed to take place, obviously, this month, and could be announced at any point in time right now. While some find it somewhat hard to believe that Virtuous could be developing a fully fledged remake of the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion on Unreal Engine 5, the proof is seemingly starting to stack up. For those out of the loop, though, a remake or remaster of Oblivion first popped up during the FTC investigation into Microsoft's Activision Blizzard acquisition, if you remember correctly. Again, which was the game expected to release during the fiscal year of 2022, a date that obviously was missed. Obviously there was also a lot of issues and situations where that would have been hard to actually, go out there and have a game out there that really kind of supported that, because all of the situations with the lockdowns and things, a lot of that was still going on strong at that particular point. But so all the games that I had previously mentioned, the Avoweds, the South of Midnights, the Dooms, the Fables, you have all of that stuff, and then you also have a situation with a game that is beloved by a lot of people, which is Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. And again, this wouldn't be an exclusive, but you would have to pretty much assume that this game would 100% end up in Game Pass day one, just like all the other Xbox first party stuff. So we'll see how this kind of goes, and if it's something that continues to go and see what's up there. You know what I mean? So again, really good news for Xbox fans. Seems like we're getting like a lot of really cool and interesting announcements, and even more software. Which, again, the software is always welcome. Think about it for a second. Like, how awesome is it that we get so much amazing software? And finally, a lot of us have been waiting for a long time. So again, throw out the window all the stuff that, the negativity and things like that, because, I've been there for a lot of this, where we sit there and kind of look at it and go, okay, well, how is this going to affect, Xbox going forward, having all these different, games and things. I think it's like pretty amazing when you think about it. Like, they've never, no, I don't think anybody's ever really had a lineup quite as spectacular as this. I mean, to me, think about it like this, right? Would you think that it would be amazing if PlayStation had an Uncharted, a Last of Us, a God of War, and a Gran Turismo all in the same year, and then throw in a couple other things on top of that, right? Like, Microsoft's having that kind of year from a first-party standpoint. They're also going to have a Call of Duty that's going to drop day one in Game Pass. Yes, not everything's exclusive, but all this stuff is day one Game Pass drops, and I think that makes it much versed and much more worth it in the long run. I know Game Pass hasn't always been a great value, and that's just kind of a fact of the matter, unfortunately. So we'll see how all these things kind of roll out and things. Like I said, I'm excited by it. I think Elder Scrolls 4 is one that a lot of people are excited about, and again, I think Microsoft had really failed, and this isn't necessarily a Microsoft thing, but Microsoft had kind of really failed to capitalize on remakes and remasters when they easily could have done so. This is probably something that was in the works maybe even before Microsoft bought the studio, and so I think it makes sense to have it. But I can't remember if Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion was even on PlayStation 3. So yeah, it makes sense to kind of go back and do that one and kind of get people back into it. I know a lot of people would maybe think, maybe Morrowind would be one to remake or remaster. I think you would have to remake it completely. And of course, we know Skyrim is a game that has been remade and remastered a million times. So no luck there. I mean, you can play that pretty much on anything. So like, I would fully expect this. Obviously, it's going to be on everything. And good for Xbox. I think we're gonna start to see some people kind of come around to the idea that Xbox is really kind of achieving a lot. They're sort of doing the things that a lot of people kind of want to see from Microsoft. So I really feel like Microsoft has kind of come out of the woodwork for a long time now, trying to get more things to publish as a publisher, and that's a smart move, as far as I'm concerned. Going out there and making sure that gamers have the content, that they have the services, that they have all the stuff that they want. I think it is a very smart move. You know what I mean? But you also have to remember that you have to treat your console, your hardware, like you actually like it and want to be in the business. I know a lot of people go, oh, there's a kind of a distinction between you on Twitter and you on, on your channel. You're really about Xbox on your channel, but on Twitter you take a lot of shots at Xbox. It's not that I'm taking like a lot of shots at Xbox per se. I think it's more along the lines of the fact that I like the Xbox, but I think that Microsoft in general are terrible, and they have really bad leadership. So that's something that is that I have to try to get across to everybody before it gets kind of too laid out or whatever. Is just really you can like the console but not like the company behind it, I guess would be the easiest way to kind of say it. I feel like there's not really much that Phil Spencer and company has delivered in 11 plus years as head of Xbox. Indiana Jones, probably the best game, but again, something that was in the works before Microsoft acquired them. That's like, if somebody wins, if somebody's book wins a prize or whatever, and I buy rights to that book, that doesn't mean that I get the props for the book, right? So yeah, or somebody releases a movie and somebody buys and it wins Academy Awards, and then somebody buys the rights to that movie. It doesn't mean that they won those awards. They didn't really do anything to win them, but I still think it's a step in the right direction. With that being said, let me know what you guys think. I certainly do appreciate it. How do you guys feel about Oblivion? Let me know down below. Rack them up, fact them up, crap gamer them up. I'll catch you next time. Crap gamer out.